Hi, I'm Cosmic Scale, the developer behind the PSBBN Definitive project. After 2 months of work, the latest update is finally here, and it's a big one. So sit back, relax and grab a drink as I give you the lowdown on everything that's new with PSBBN. Firstly, the README has been massively updated. This project now aims to provide the definitive setup for the PlayStation 2's internal drive, regardless of which HDD adapter you use. The feature section now clearly outlines the benefits of both install types. The PSBBN and HOSD menu install, available to users with an official Sony network adapter, and the HOSD menu only install, available to users with the official and third-party adapters. With the differences clearly laid out, it's now easier than ever to choose a setup that's right for you. The PSBBN Definitive project has users from all over the world, and I love seeing YouTube videos in different languages talking about the project.
Que é o PSBBN Definitive Project.
PSBBN Definitive Project.
É uma nova versão da PSBBN, chegando na V4.
De PSBBN para instalar HOSD menu.
And PSBBN has been available in a number of different languages for some time now, thanks to the dedication of the translation team. However, the PSBBN Definitive project install scripts remained in English. With this update, the project has been fully localized in German, Italian, Japanese, Brazilian Portuguese, Spanish, and French. Your operating system's language is detected and the script now runs in that language. When performing a fresh install of PSBBN or HOSD menu, you will no longer be asked to select a language as it is set automatically. You can still change the language of your PSBBN or HOSD menu install in the Extras menu, should you wish. The localization doesn't stop there. The language setting is now automatically set in OPL and in the R3 configurator, which has replaced the OSD menu configurator application. With this update, the project will be much more accessible to non-native English speakers. If you would like to help translate PSBBN into your native language, you can join the translation team. I'll put a link to the GitHub page in the description. Just post a comment there and introduce yourself. I have excellent news for fans of the original PlayStation. Thanks to the development of ATA Assault, it's now possible to store your PS1 games on the exFAT partition of your internal drive, along with your PS2 games and homebrew applications. Previously, PS1 games were stored on a separate POPs partition, severely limiting the number of games that could be installed. With the move to exFAT, storage of PS1 games now scales up to 2 TB, just like PS2 games. If you currently have PS1 games installed on the POPs partition, they will remain there and will continue to appear in your game collection as normal. Any newly installed PS1 games will be installed to the exFAT partition. This change also allows you to allocate more space to the music partition, the contents partition for movies and photos, and the exFAT partition for games. If you want to repartition your drive to take advantage of that extra space, you will need to perform a fresh installation of PSBBN or HOSD menu. To play PS1 games, you currently need to install the ATA BDM Assault drivers to your PS2 memory card. Instructions and a download link can be found in the README. With recent progress in the open source POPs project, which is decompiling Sony's POPs emulator for the PlayStation 2, I suspect that a future update will make it possible to integrate the drivers directly. It could also make PopStarter a thing of the past. There are definitely exciting developments ahead for the POPs emulator. In other news, PS1 games stored on an SMB network share can now be launched from the game collection and browser. Follow the instructions to set up your server and install the required files. Place a renamed popstarter.elf with the SB prefix in the POPs folder, then run the game installer. The game will now show in your collection under the new SMB category, complete with artwork. To further expand PS1 support, Pops Loader has been added. Pops Loader is a graphical launcher designed to make browsing and launching PS1 games easy. The game installer automatically downloads the appropriate artwork for each game. Pops Loader is still in beta and things are improving rapidly. Check out the Pops Loader GitHub page for the latest news and updates. You can also report issues there too. Massive thanks to Nathan Neurotic for adding exFAT HDD support to Pops Loader and getting it ready for this definitive project update. Many of you have pointed out that the game collection can take a while to load. The more games you have installed, the longer it takes for the list to appear. But if you use an SSD and have around 200 games installed, the game collection actually loads faster than OPL. Artwork loads faster too. The game collection also allows you to create shortcuts to your most frequently played games. Press the triangle button and select Add to Navigator menu. You can quickly access the menu by pressing select and launch the game from anywhere, without loading the full game collection. For the best user experience, I recommend using an SSD and keeping your game collection to around 300 to 500 games. If your collection is much larger than that, things can start to slow down. And for that reason, I'm introducing a new feature, the Game Selector. When installing games, you'll be presented with a list. You now get to choose which games are displayed in the game collection and browser. Just uncheck the games you don't want to be displayed. When you run the game installer in the future, your selection will be remembered, making adjustments easy. Limiting the number of games in your game collection improves performance. All installed PS2 games will still be available in OPL or NHDDL, and all PS1 games in Pops Loader. OPL or NHDDL can be quickly launched at startup by holding the square button. Pops Loader can quickly be launched at startup by holding the triangle button. Another new addition is WLaunch Elf R3Z, replacing the current version of WLaunch Elf. This version includes several advanced features. Most notably for PSBBN Definitive Project, it allows you to access and manage files stored on your internal drive's exFAT partition, a capability not available in other versions of WLaunch Elf. You now have full access to your drive, including your ISO files, and you can manage your virtual memory cards directly on your PS2 console. I encourage you to explore the full feature set of WLaunch Elf R3Z. It's an incredible tool with far more features than I could cover in this video. Resin deserves a round of applause for his work on WLaunch Elf R3Z and ATA Assault. And that is the final big PSBBN Definitive Project feature update. Everything on the original roadmap and a whole lot more on top has been achieved. There's also been a number of enhancements and bug fixes not covered in this video, and I encourage you to check out the full changelog on the GitHub page. Thanks to everyone who has followed this wild journey over the past 2 years. The feedback and support has been amazing, but as Liquid Snake said, "It's not over yet!" OSD menu will soon be updated to version 1.3. Additional languages will be added. I finally planned to fix the music installer. It's turned out to be a lot more complicated than I originally thought. I'm also still working on a number of enhancements and bug fixes. The PSBBN art database and HDDOSD database will continue to be updated with more artwork and icons. And most importantly, I hope to support this project for as long as there's a user base. I also have plans for future YouTube videos. An updated tutorial and overview of the entire project is much needed as so much has changed. I plan to make a video covering the history of PSBBN, its early betas and its Japanese release. I also want to make some PS2 Linux tutorials showing how to install games, emulators and much more. Because contrary to popular belief, there's actually a lot you can do with PS2 Linux. Special thanks to everyone who has contributed to my Ko-fi in the past 2 months, and thanks to every PSBBN Definitive Project user, and to everyone who has subscribed, left comments, likes and helped this project become what it is today. And of course, an extra special thanks to PCM720. If you would like to help this project, you will find all the links you need in the description, and if you appreciate the work I'm putting into this project and would like to show your support, you can contribute to my Ko-fi. You'll find a link to my Ko-fi in the description and the pinned comment. If you want to keep up to date with the latest developments, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky or Ko-fi. As always, all links will be in the description. But for now, this is Cosmic Scowl signing out.